Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. Now I had to start this video with a cold start of my Macan GTS. It's one of many things I absolutely love about this car. But I also can't believe that we've owned this car now for the best part of 3 months. So I thought it about time I just give you a general update on what that first 3 months of ownership has been like. But also, I don't think I've actually taken it for a really spirited drive on the channel, and I think we need to do that today, but it also needs to get some new tyres. Now I know regular viewers of the channel are probably saying, well, where's the 911 video, Ped? Well, there will be a video about that coming out next week, hopefully. And when you watch that video, you will understand. But this Macan, we absolutely love this car. And first up, I want to talk about the colour, because crayon was right on the top of our list of colours. It's Tracy's favourite colour that Porsche do. Mine's oak green metallic, but they don't really do Macans in that colour, unfortunately. The cool thing about this car, at the moment, it is beautifully clean and it looks fantastic when it's clean. But the really cool thing is it can also be reasonably dirty and it still looks great. Tracy's been driving it up to Goodwood. There's been lots of building work on the project she's been working on, and it's been covered in dust because over the last, I don't know, 8 to 10 weeks here in the UK, we've had very dry weather, beautiful blue skies, loads of sunshine, unlike today, which is pretty grotty and overcast and threatening with rain. But the first thing I really wanted to do with the car was swap out the tyres, because I am a Michelin brand ambassador and I really wanted to run a set of Michelin tyres on this car. So yesterday I took the car to my local tyre fitter and put on a nice new set of boots. So these are the new boots for the Macan. They are Michelin Latitude Sport 3s. And the reason we've chosen these to put on the car is these are the N-marked or OEM approved Michelin tyres for the Macan. I've never ran a car with Latitude Sports before, so I have no experience of them at all. I guess the only thing I would say is Michelin's sidewall game has improved quite a bit since these. They don't have the new velvet sidewall, which is a shame, but I'm sure they're going to be awesome once they're on the car. The only challenge is they're quite big and they only just fit in the car. So it's a good test of how big the Macan is. I don't realise just how big tyres are until you take all 4 of them off and put them in the back of the car. I've had to drop the seats down clearly just to fit them in, but it's not too horrible. Not too horrible indeed. So next stop, Southbourne Tyres, my local Pro Tyre tyre fitter that always fits the rubber to my cars. So we've managed to get the tyres out the back of the Macan. So we've got a 265 40 21 on the fronts, and then a whopping great big 295 35 21 on the rears. As I said, these are the N-marked tyres, so the OEM approved tyres for Macan. Now, while my mate fits the tyres, we found the locking wheel nut key as well. One of the really cool things about being a brand ambassador for Michelin is that I get the opportunity to run their tyres on my cars and my bikes, and that's why we're swapping the tyres out so that I can have a go with the Latitude Sports, because I have no experience of those at all. But if you want to run Michelin tyres on your car, then I'm able to offer you up to £100 off your next set of tyres. I'm going to put a link in the video description and in a pinned comment. And it's up to £100 because it depends on the size of your tyres. If they're real big whoppers like I'm putting on mine, then you're going to save yourself £100 on a set. The tyres come from blackcircle.com, and that's actually owned by Michelin. And all you need to do is ever so easy. You can go on there and select the tyres and the right size and so on. You can ring them up if you're not sure. But then you just need to find a local tyre fitter. So I've been coming here to Southbourne Tyres for years, These guys are brilliant, always very accommodating for the YouTuber dude that wants new tyres putting on his car. But they're part of Pro Tyre Group, which are really, really top end. So all you need to do is find a really good tyre fitter near you, contact them, and then you can order the tyres through Black Circles and you can get them delivered here. They have to be delivered to a commercial premises, and you can pay for fitting as part of the ordering process as well. So it's dead easy. Just follow the link in the description below to get up to £100 off of your next set of tyres. And as if by magic, all 4 tyres on, just talking me nuts, and then we'll take it out for a drive. I'm going to come back tomorrow once the suspension's settled and everything's come back in. We're going to come back in and just check the alignment's okay. It didn't look too bad. The tyres that came off it didn't look too bad, but they do look nice on there. Always love a car with a nice fresh set of boots. Now, before I go home, my good mate here has just pointed something out to me. Apparently he had a slightly obsessive Porsche owner bring a car back last week because he'd fitted the Porsche centre cap like that, and apparently it's a thing where the bottom of the cap has to line up perfectly with the valve. Yes, that's a thing apparently, and the guy brought the car back so that this went to that. I just think that is unbelievable. So as we speak, I've only actually driven this car to the tyre fitters and back twice, so I can't really comment on these Latitude Sport 3s just yet, but we'll put them to the test very shortly. As I mentioned already, it's a slightly older model now, so they don't have the velvet sidewall technology that the latest models of Michelin tyres do. And it was interesting, I was out in Switzerland just last week on the Cross Climate 3 and Cross Climate 3 Sport tyre launch, and they have velvet sidewalls. And the guys from Michelin were explaining how they really feel that the aesthetics of a tyre on a car are so important, and I couldn't agree more. You spend a lot of money on these things, and clearly the performance in terms of grip and handling and safety and longevity are really, really important, but ultimately you want your car to look nice, and I think that's where Michelin really do tick lots and lots of boxes. The last thing also, I didn't really realise just how big the wheels were, how wide the track was on these until I had the tyres in the back of the car. And once they're on, I also didn't realise just how deep the dish is on the rear wheels. When you look at them from the side, it looks like the same design, but because those rear wheels are much wider, they've got a bit of a dish in them, and actually now I've seen it, I like it even more. But yeah, I really love these. Are you coming in here? Come here. Come here. Look, look, look. What do you think? Do you spin round? What do you think of these? These are Michelin Latitude Sport 3s. Yeah. Should we show them where you go in the car when you're coming out with us? Shall we see if we can get a dog in the boot? First up, to open the boot release button is just on the bottom of the wiper there, which is something if you don't own a Macan, you probably would struggle to find. Now, here we go. She's sat safely in the back. We have put a boot liner in, so you can drop that down. So when she's getting in and out, don't scratch the bumper. These, I just found this on Amazon. It was like, I don't know, 60 quid or something. Kind of Velcros in, Velcros to the back of the seats. And as you saw earlier in the video when we had all the tyres in, all I did was drop the seats, this boot liner's Velcroed to the headrests. But it just keeps things a little bit cleaner. We like to go to the beach and take you for walks where you get all muddy, don't we? So on a day-to-day basis, if she's in the car, she's in the back. Now clearly, one of the things that's changed since we got this car is she's now flying solo, but that's all right, isn't it? She's starting to kind of get over the fact that her best mate isn't around anymore, as are we a little bit. But actually, I think she was probably more affected by the petrol pooch leaving us than we were. She's been really, really off colour the last, I don't know, it's been 4 or 5 weeks now, but she's starting to get back. She's starting to get back to herself. So a really nice big space. If the dog's not in here, so if we're going away for a weekend, what we tend to do is put her on one of the back seats in a harness and just put a towel or a cover on the back seat, and then we can fill the boot up with lots of stuff. So the best thing about this car for me is as we'll see very shortly, it has the driving dynamics of a kind of sports car, really. Even though it's an SUV format, it drives brilliantly and it is so rapid, but it's also got lots and lots of practicality. And I know you'd get this from like a fast wagon. So we had an Audi S4, we had 2 of those. And they've probably got similar space, I guess, but just not quite the same raised ride height. And that's something that Tracy in particular really likes. But we won't leave you in there. Should we get you out? What are you shaking for, you muppet? Look, YouTube want to say hello to you. They're all worried about you. Yeah, yeah. Right, anyway, I reckon we go on out and go for a drive. So we'll head out and get the driving done before the rain comes in by the looks of it. Interestingly, the car's TPMS, the tyre pressure monitoring system, is still trying to sort its life out. It does measure automatically. I'm just waiting for the dash to reset itself properly. But I think the driving characteristics, or the first 3 months of this car and our appreciation of this car, I'm going to start with normal driving. Now, you can just leave it in its default O setting on there, the normal mode, in which case it's very relaxed, the valves are closed in the exhaust, and it's just a really nice, smooth car. You can do a couple of things in O mode to spicy things up a little bit if you want to. You can turn the exhaust on with a button here, and you can firm up the dampers with a button here. There's 3 settings of damper firmness. What I have said a number of times already is I love this center console and all of the buttons. It just makes it a really analog experience in this car. I am going to start with a slight negative of the car, and I'm basically going to talk about its fuel consumption, because it's not the best, basically. So under normal driving, the fuel consumption number is going to start with a 2. And it's going to be, if you're on shorter journeys, it's going to be like a middle 2, like 23, 24, 25. It really isn't a particularly fuel efficient car. On a longer run, when you're doing a nice steady cruising speed, you're on a motorway or dual carriageway, you set the cruise control and off you go, that number's going to creep up, and it might start with a 3 if you're lucky. However, I mean, some people are going to say that's terrible and it would put them off buying the car. That was not a purchasing requirement when we bought this car. If fuel economy was our thing, we'd have bought a hybrid or something. We would not have bought a 2.9 litre twin turbo V6 Porsche. And it really doesn't bother us that much. The only time it really does start to be a little bit painful is when you start to push on and you turn the little drive selector knob and you turn it into Sport or Sport Plus, because then the fuel consumption starts to suffer a little bit. You know, at the end of the day, you've got to get that performance from somewhere. But it's worth it, because the driving engagement this car gives you and the noise this car gives you are next level. Okay, I bought it to my favourite bit of road, which actually has been closed quite a lot recently. And I haven't been down here for ages, and I found out why it's been closed, because they've been doing loads of resurfacing, which is brilliant, because at the top end of this, it was getting a little bit grotty. Now, I'm going to switch it into individual mode. We've set that up to Sport, and then the softer damper setting. I'm going to put it into manual override, and we're just going to crack on a little bit. Now, in my recent Macan GTS comparison video, many of you reached out and told me how to put the new Gen 3 Macan into manual override. Thank you for that. But this one, you just push the gear stick over. Now, road conditions today are damp in places, and I'm still getting my head around these new tyres as well, and just also letting them bed in a little bit. The instant reaction for them is they feel a lot better ride quality than the outgoing tyres, and I think they're a little bit quieter as well. But quiet, who needs quiet when you've got a twin turbo V6 the thing I love most about this car is the noise it makes. It just sounds ace on throttle, and then when you lift off, it's just got some little burbles on lift off. I don't need second here, but so that's in individual. I'm going to now, let's stick it up into Sport Plus. You can see the resurfacing that's been done here, and round the corner here we've pretty much got brand new tarmac, which I would imagine is going to be a little bit slippy today because it's wet and the tarmac won't have bedded in properly yet. But this car on a road like this just doesn't feel like you're driving an SUV at all. It's got fantastic steering response. It's quick, really quick. And that whistle, by the way, that's one of my action cams on the outside of the car. That's not coming in from the car. But you can make pace in this car. The PDK gearbox is just so Porsche, so slick. Phenomenal bit of kit, really. And the brakes are really good. I've had a few comments. The brake discs don't look massive, but they do the job perfectly. Ah, hero. Now there's only two hills. Whichever way you're going uphill, and it's nasty. So let's drop it down into second. I just love this car. Sounds mega. Brilliant steering, hardly any body roll. I'm in Sport Plus, so the damper's now on its firmest of 3 settings. But even with that firmness, clearly the body roll's knocked off a little bit, but it doesn't actually feel that harsh and that crashy. And I think there's an element of that. These new tyres have just got a slightly more supple ride than the outgoing tyres, and I just like it a lot. Now, in terms of out and out grip, I always find it really difficult to comment on a new tyre on the public road. You're pushing on as much as you can legally. And actually today, they're quite challenging conditions really, because we've had a lot of dry weather recently, although we've had a couple of downpours over the last couple of days. But these conditions are quite tricky. You go from dry to damp to a little bit of standing water. There's mud on the road. They're the most dangerous maybe, apart from when it's frozen. And the car is giving me lots and lots of confidence. So I think it's safe to say that we absolutely love and adore this car. It's everything we thought it would be. I'd driven one before. We love the way it looks. It's turned out to be really practical. You can get a lot of stuff in it if you need to. Tracy at work's been having people in the back showing them around work and stuff, so she's been using it as a kind of moving people around kind of car. Easily get 4 adults in here with loads of space. And then the Jekyll and Hyde part of its character comes out when you do want to push on and when you do want to have some fun like we've just done there. This car is more than capable. It would keep up with most things down a decent bit of A or B road. It's just a mega thing. Anyway, if you are interested in a set of Michelin tyres for yourself, remember in the video description and in a pinned comment is a link, and that will get you up to £100 off a new set of Michelin tyres. And let me know what you think of the Macan. Well, I love it. There will be, as promised, some 911 content coming next week. You'll understand when the video hits. There's good reasons for the delay, but I'll make sure I cover everything off and I'll see you on that one. But for now, if you enjoyed that, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. Sorry for the slightly rushed format of this one, but I'll see you on the next film. You take care, guys. Drive safe. Before you go anywhere, me again. I thought you'd like to know the fuel consumption whilst filming this video was 17 miles to the gallon. 17. Ouch.